On this slide presentation, we will be reviewing over the components of the respiratory system, specifically looking at the structures of the human lung. On this particular slide, one of the structures I would like for you to see is this ribbon outlined component right here, which is a bronchial. Now, if we just review back over from lecture class, one of the things we had was we talked about the trachea or the windpipe and the branching off of the trachea being the bronchials, and that the first branch off of the bronchials was our primary bronchials, and then our second branching was our secondary bronchials, and our third was our tertiary, and it continued until we finally got to our terminal bronchials. And when we reach those terminal bronchials, that's one of the things we can see here, is we can see on a microscopic layer what a cross-section of our bronchials would appear like. On this slide, one of the things I want you to see is, again, you can see the ribbon-shaped outline of the bronchioles, but you can also see a blood vessel. This component material in here is the blood, so do make sure you can tell the difference between a bronchial and a blood vessel. And when we look at the blood vessels, the way we will tell those is the arteries will have very thick walls and our veins will have thinner walls. We can also begin to see our alveoli here. And as we look at our alveoli, just to point that out, let's just do an outline here. And you can see that. Okay, now that we've got this one outlined, let's point out some components to you. And I want you to see that our tips of this, think of this as being like a cloud, and these little tip areas right there that we see, those little puffs of the cloud, are called the alveoli. And then the larger portion is called the alveolus. If we were to look on high power, what we would see is the tissue, this right here being like one of our clouds from our previous slide, but the tissue that outlines and forms these clouds is simple squamous epithelium. And if we remember this being simple, it's one cell layer, squamous flat cells, and this allows for diffusion of the gases within the lung. On this slide, again, what we can see is we can see this and think of it as being like a little puffy cloud. And the little puffs of the cloud are the alveoli, and the body of the cloud would be the alveolar duct.